Kenyan government has announced that it's withdrawing from United Nations peacekeeping duties in South Sudan. The move comes after the Kenyan head of the UN force was fired for failing to protect civilians. TRT World's Fidelis Mbar fills us in now on the implications of the move.
But, recently I was in northern Uganda where thousands of South Sudanese who had fled fighting are taking refuge. And one of the things they kept saying, or most of them told me, was that, that the UN force in South Sudan has not been as responsive as they would have expected. Because you have even UN staff being attacked right in their compound, some of the women being raped, UN staff being raped. Not talk about people who were killed. And you have this UN force just around the corner. They drive around in their armored vehicles, but when there's a crisis or there's a distress call put out to them, they don't respond as they should. Why not try to prevent some of these clashes? So people feel that their continued presence has actually not really done anything. So that's why I feel that the UN decision, even though it might look like it's harsh on the surface, but if you really look at it, it's something that collectively they should be able to hold almost all the leaders accountable. And it shouldn't just be the head that should be fired. Other people should be queried as well to answer for the seeming inefficiency of the forces deployed by the UN in South Sudan. Kenya is like the big brother in East Africa. They're the biggest in terms of economy, and in terms of decision-making, Kenya is #1. So with Kenya pulling out its troops, it's going to adversely affect everything about South Sudan. And you have thousands of Kenyans who live there. So with this development now, some of them will want to pull out. And most of them are businessmen who have invested in the country, who are still doing business despite the harsh conditions. So this is actually not going to speak well in terms of security and in terms of the economy. And now, with the head of the UN peacekeeping operation, who is Kenyan, fired, which is actually what prompted this, now with the Kenyan troops withdrawing, that is a real setback for maintaining peace and law and order in South Sudan, which has been polarized along ethnic lines and also more like led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of people in the country.